Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble!
Helping people who are living and working in Spain. It's the right way with David Wright. The comment section is open. Chat live to the DJ right now via our website.
A very good afternoon and welcome to The Right Way with me, David Wright, here on Almeria Radio 107.5 FM. Thanks, John, for keeping us entertained this afternoon. Have a great weekend. It's looking nice weather out there for the weekend. Had a bit of that orange rain again today and not very nice. Did you get it where you are? Yeah, the car's smothered in it here in Almeria. But anyway, so nice weather for the weekend. Okay, so lots coming up on the show today. I've got a special guest on the show later on today as well. And also going to be telling you about where you can buy some really cheap property in Spain and also where they will pay you to go and move there. That's all coming up on the show. Let's get this party started. Pink there and get this party started. Very good afternoon. John Alex joining us in the comment section and Cat Dog and Jono the Grinch. Thanks for joining us in the comment section. The comment section has rebooted. Come and say hi. Come and keep me company this afternoon. Okay, so I just want to tell you a little bit of an update on the TIE card fiasco here in Spain at the moment. Some of you probably know that it's been very difficult or impossible to get appointments for renewing or getting your TIE cards here. The reason for that is that some people or some systems have been buying up all the appointments. They've used computers to use robots to buy up all the snatch up all the spots here, official slots, and they're selling them off at €90. So if you've been offered these appointments for €90, you've probably been you realise that it's not correct. Authorities have cracked down. They've already made some arrests on these people, and there is still a bit of a backlog for appointments, but they're on hand. They're looking into it seriously now. So things are starting to get back to normal again with the TIEs, but there is still some backlog on the appointments. So if you're looking for a TI appointment, make sure you go through a proper registered official to get your TIE appointments. You don't have to pay for these private scammers that are trying to charge you €90 for a slot. If you need any help with getting an appointment, just go over to my expert help page. That's on my website, davidwrightonline.com. Ricky Lee on my own there.
David Wright. Help and advice for living and working in Spain. You're listening to The Right Way. The Right Way with David Wright.
Okay, so if you've been living in Spain for any length of time, you realise a little while ago that there's some new rule changes for the voting here. Now, the end of the 15-year voting rule. So for people that have been living here a long time, you wouldn't have been able to vote in the elections back in the UK. Well, that's all changed now, and I'm going to tell you about that after this.
Live.
David Wright. David Wright.
David.
The Afternoon Show.
Yeah, so if you've been living in Spain for more than 15 years, you've lost the right to vote in UK elections. Well, that's all been scrapped now. You can actually vote in the national elections in the UK. So a lot of British people that live in here, we've all got family and friends back there, and we do care about what happens in the UK. Well, now you can vote. You need to register the electoral register in the UK, and you can have your say. You can vote. Also, remember, if you're living here in Spain and you've been here in Spain for more than 3 years and you're over the age of 18, you can vote in local elections here in Spain. So you need to know you go down to your local town hall and register there in the electoral roll register. It's called the CERE roll. If you go down to your town hall, they'll tell you how to do that. It's very simple to do, and you can vote. I have voted in the last couple of elections here for your locals here, so you can just vote for who you fancy to run the local elections. So yeah, it's worth doing it. It might make a bit of a difference, you never know, but you can vote in the national national elections in the UK now, and you can also vote in your local elections here. You can actually run for mayor as well if you want to. There was somebody a few years ago, a British person in the north of Spain. They ran for the mayor and they became the mayor, and they didn't even speak Spanish. How about that then? So yeah, if you fancy running for the mayor, you can do that as well. I think you need 3 people to back you for voting for you, at least 3 people in your area to put your name forward as mayor, and you can become a mayor of your little town. How about that then? So yeah, go and make sure you register to vote in Spain and register to vote, and maybe try and sort something out what's going on in the UK at the moment. You never know. Snow Patrol there, and How to Be Dead. Okay, so how about buying some cheap property and learning how to move to a different area of Spain and being paid for it? Okay, so yeah, there's a place called Pongo in Asturias in the north of Spain, and they're offering €3,000 to couples who move there. €3,000 just for moving there and being on the national register there and in Padron. And if you have a baby there as well, they will pay you extra for having a baby in the town. That's in Ponga in Asturias. Almeida as well. That's up near Madrid in the middle of Spain. They're selling land for €200. You can buy large plots of land to build on for €200. What's the catch? You need to build on the property within 2 years. You need to have plans passed and build within the 2 years of buying. So yeah, €200. Also in Galicia as well, they're offering €150 a month each person who moves there for 2 years. So if you want to go and find some of these places, they're over on my website. There's more of them coming up a little bit later on in the show. So Spain are trying to get people to move to these areas. There is lots of incentives and a couple more of them coming up after.
The Afternoon Show.
The comment section is open. Chat live to the DJ right now via our website.
And here he is, the legendary David Wright.
Okay, so yeah, apart from these places that give you the incentive, there's some incentives in Almeria as well. If you go self-employed in Almeria area, there are incentives for you to go self-employed. You can get some grants up to €3,500 to start up a business here in Almeria. If you want more information on that, that's over on my website as well. Also in Extremadura, I think I pronounced that right. That's a small town up in the hills on the way to Portugal. That's right on the coast of Spain and Portugal there. They're offering €10,000 grants for digital nomads. So if you want to be a digital nomad and move to Spain, what about moving down there? They pay you €10,000 grant if you move there. Plus there are grants of €15,000 for renovating properties down there. So if you go there as a nomad, you can get €10,000, and if you buy a property and do it up and renovate it, you get €15,000 for renovating it. That's not bad at all. So if you're thinking about moving to Spain, some of these places may be appealing to you if you're looking for moving here to Spain. More on that over on my website, of course. Well, where are we going now? Friday. What's going on Friday? Josh Williams from Ambient Wealth will be with me very shortly. He's a financial expert. He'll give you some tips and advice on pensions and investments and anything related to financial help. If you've got any question for Josh, stay tuned to be coming up very shortly. Very good afternoon, Carol. Join us in the comment section. Hope you're well, Carol. Yeah, so I had a nice weekend. I had 3 days down in Malaga over the weekend, and very, very nice it was down there as well. The weather was fantastic, not like it is here this morning. Raining hard. We had that orange rain here this morning. All gone now though. But yeah, down at Malaga there, and amazing down there. Really like the boats. My wife was doing some work down there, so I went down and keep her company, and doing my tourist bit, walking around. Prices are through the roof down there though, aren't they? I don't know if you've been to Malaga recently though. I went to a little coffee bar to have a coffee and a donut. I pulled out a €5 note, and I got surprised it was $7.50 for a coffee and a donut. But there you go. So yeah, very pricey down there. But the boats are amazing down there. Now at the moment there's a couple of the big mega yachts sitting down there, just moored up and restocking or whatever. And one of them there, it's one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. It's absolutely huge, takes up half the marina down there. And I was looking at it on the internet, checking out about it. It's got 72 crew on board. It's owned by a Mexican billionaire, and some of the statistics is that it costs 1.3 million euros to fill it up. Now, while I was there was a giant tanker there, lorry tanker, and it was there for 2 days filling it up. I presume it was filling it up, but there, 1.3 million to fill it up. That's crazy money, isn't it? But there you go. So yeah, some beautiful boats down there, and had a nice meal as well. Went out to a nice restaurant there. Well, I say nice restaurant, it's pretty nice. And again, that was expensive. Had a starter. No, we didn't have a starter down there. That's right. We just had a main course. I had a steak. My wife had a fish meal, fish dish. 2 drinks each, 78 euros. So yeah, pretty pricey down there in Malaga. But it's worth going down there, worth having a walk around. The only thing I didn't like about Malaga area was the noise. The traffic noise is horrendous down there. It is a very, very busy place, as all the cities are, I suppose. But there you go. So yeah, Malaga, if you haven't been down there, it's worth going and have a look at some of those beautiful boats down there.
David Wright. Help and advice for living and working in Spain. You're listening to The Right Way. The Right Way with David Wright.
Good afternoon, Chris Lovelace. Join us in the comment section. How you doing, Chris? So we got a live guest on the show today, financial advisor Josh Williams from Ambient Wealth. Hi, Josh. Can you hear me all right?
Can you hear you well, David? Yeah, I can hear you well. How are you?
Good, great, Josh. Yeah, so it was nice to meet up with you down in Malaga. It was beautiful down there. I liked looking at those boats down there, and great to meet you and your wife in person, and have a little chat and catch up. So, Josh, I was speaking to you earlier about these pensions changes and things after the last budget, and there's another budget coming up as well. So this could affect British people with pensions here in Spain. Can you just give us a little bit of info on that?
Yeah, so it could affect pensions and all assets, really. So there is speculation. There's always speculation leading up to a UK budget. The UK media outlets do love a story, but there's no smoke without fire, as they do say. And there is speculation that this autumn budget, which is at the end of this month, November, that the UK government may introduce a so-called settling up charge or an exit tax on individuals leaving the UK and or individuals transferring assets or wealth outside of the UK, even if they're overseas resident. So that is, on the cards, as well as pension potential changes, removal of the 25% tax-free if you're a UK resident. If you're not a UK resident, it is taxed. Lump sum. So that speculation was in play last year, and it's come back again. But there is lots of rumours, and it's it's important to check up.
I heard the exit one. That's horrendous. I suppose they're trying to stop. The reason that the government realised that British people have had enough and they're moving out to Spain, so they're trying to tax them now to move out. So if that does come in, I think it's pretty naughty, really. But they're trying to stop people. But with the budget, it could affect your pensions and investments. So it's worth speaking to a financial advisor like yourself. And Josh can give the listeners a free consultation. That's right, Josh, yeah?
Yeah, exactly right, yeah. Free consultation for your listeners. And, sometimes it's worthwhile just making sure that you're not exploring or you haven't, considered a potential other option or alternative to what is in place at the moment, because it may end up saving potentially thousands, or just making sure that action sometimes is better to be taken rather than reacting in the future. So that's what we provide to our clients.
Great, appreciate that, Josh. And as I said, it was lovely to meet up with you and have a coffee and that. And Josh, I was just saying, I don't know if you heard it earlier on the show. I was saying I took Yanni for a meal down by the boats there, and I had a steak, a few little vegetables by the side of it. A bit disappointed really, but the steak was nice. A couple of drinks each. She had a couple of drinks, and she had a fish dish, and it's 78 euros. So that's about
down there,
about double what we would pay back up here. So I don't envy you down there, mate. It's a pretty pricey
parts. Yeah,
sure. I guess it was a touristy area, but
Yeah, I guess so, a little bit, but it's, you pay a little bit more, in Malaga sort of centre, and, especially if you go Malaga centre or Marbella, you're paying a premium, and typically the food's not even as good. I prefer going to a little pueblo somewhere, and having a local dish, and usually better service, better ambience, and better value as well.
Yeah, sure. I'll stick to my tapas, I think, up here. But anyway, thanks for your tip today, Josh. I appreciate that, and have a great weekend. Speak to you soon.
And you. Likewise.
Cheers. All the best.
Cheers, David.
Bye.
David Wright. Help and advice for living and working in Spain. You're listening to The Right Way. The Right Way with David Wright.
Yeah, so it was great to meet up with Josh and his wife down in Malaga the other day, and he gave me some tips and advice about pensions and that for me in the near future. And I've left Josh's details in the comment section now. If you want a free consultation, Josh is a man about your pensions and investments. It's worth getting a check. It's free to any of my listeners, and you save yourself some money in the long run, I'm sure. He's got some great ideas about your investments and different routes that you can do with your pension here in Spain. Worth having a chat with him. That's Josh Williams from Ambient Wealth. His details in the comment section now. And so if you're thinking about moving to Spain, I've got this list of these places in Spain where they're offering you money and incentives to go and move there. I think the Extremadura area, it's up near Portugal, €10,000. That's pretty good going. They get €10,000 for digital nomads that move there, and €15,000 for renovating property. So that's a really good 25 grand straight away. If you're a digital nomad and you're thinking about moving to Spain, why not move up there and renovate an old property, and you get 25 grand for just moving there. And Almeida as well, that's in up near in Madrid area, I believe, land for €200. Now I saw somewhere it was 1,000 square meters of land. It's quite a decent plot of land for €200, but the only restriction on that is that you need to start building on there within 2 years of building it. So yeah, that's pretty good going as well. So there's lots of these incentives now all over Spain. The other one, remember, was up in Asturias. They're offering €3,000 per couple to move up there, and extra money if you have a baby in the village as well. So there's lots of these Spanish places that are doing this. Some of the older villages or the smaller villages, a bit more remote. The trouble with that is that they've lost a lot of the younger people there. The older generation have died off, and the youngsters have moved out. So the Spanish villages are dying off slightly, so they're trying to get more life back into the villages, and that's why they're offering these properties to renovate, do up, cheap land, and incentives for people to move there and register in the padron. So give you an idea, when I was building my house here in Almeria, my wife, she's from a village up in Fiñana. That's on the way to Granada. It's about an hour up the road from Almeria. And so we went up and lived up there for a little while we were doing it. And I registered in the padron up there. And just for example, my motorbike insurance, when I registered up there for my motorbike, this is my old motorbike, it was €11 for the year. This is to register the tax, the road tax, €11. The car tax was €35 up there. So things are really, really cheaper in these places as well. So absolutely crazy prices. And also in the village there, it was quite a decent sized village, but going out for something to eat and drink, you can get a beer and a burger there for under €2, believe it or not, a beer and a burger. So it's crazy prices, but obviously it's a little bit out of the way, some of these places, but they might appeal to people. So if you're thinking about moving to Spain, a digital nomad, or you want some of these incentives, go and check it out. All these details are over on my website, davidwrightonline.com.
45 FM, the right way. Tune in now and join the play.
That's great. Afternoon, Chris. Glad the house is sold for you, mate. So you'll be out here next year as well. That's another Brit moving up to Spain. I don't blame them. There's a lot more people moving out to Spain in the last couple of months. And I was speaking to my friend at the consulate the other day as well, and he was telling me that they've taken on extra lawyers to help cope with all the amount of British people that are moving out to Spain for next year. So yeah, I think there's going to be a big influx of people. I don't blame them with what's going on in the the UK. And remember, if you don't like what's going on in the UK, you can still vote. Even if you're living here in Spain, you can now vote for what's going on in the election. You can register, but you need to go and register. You can do that online. And remember as well, if you're here in Spain, have you been in Spain for more than 3 years and you're over 18 years of age, you can vote here in the local elections. You can't vote in the national elections, but you can vote in the local elections. Again, you need to register that, and you need to go down to the town hall and register. I voted the last couple of years here. I don't know whether it makes a difference or not, but at least to get your voice heard, it might have your say here in Spain and in the UK now. So make sure you register.